Hey, hey, how goes it? This is going to be really funny because a I am doing a TikTok and a YouTube live because I found that I could get back onto onto TikTok, and it's been a while. Um, Here we go. Okay, now you may see the little end of my phone there, because I'm trying to be in two places at the same time. And the reason I'm doing this is pretty simple. Is I recently was able to get back um, onto TikTok. Happy Valentine's Day, Becky. Nice to see you. Farm Girl 11. Nice to see you. Some folks. So I've got two platforms going here. So I may look like one of those fish with one eye over here and one eye over there. Yay. Yeah. Heather, I am live. Happy Valentine's Day. It's about a little bit after, it's 7:01 p.m. Eastern time. And I see a lot of folks tuning in on you from TikTok, but I'm also mainly here on YouTube. Now, hey, Farm Girl. So here's the deal. Um, I am still not going to be on TikTok a lot, if any. I'm not going to add new content. And right now, I am actually really doing a YouTube live. But I turned on my TikTok because I was able to, because I had deleted it off my phone. And randomly last night around midnight, I saw some email, or I saw a video from somebody who was on YouTube saying, hey, you can download TikTok from the App Store again. So I did that. But what I realized is I am really, I'll be honest, okay? I am really so much more enjoying being over on YouTube. Um, it is so much easier for me to upload my videos. It is a lot of cool people. So one of the reasons why I am showing up kind of unannounced, except if you were on the Destination Decluttered mailing list. If you're on the mailing list, I sent out an email. Okay, so 80s Girl Forever. Is your YouTube schedule posted? It is. It is, but you need to be on the mailing list. Are you on my mailing list? The destinationdecluttered.com mailing list? Okay. So if you aren't 80s Girl Forever, go to destinationdecluttered.com, scroll down to the bottom of the homepage and sign up for the mailing list. That's when you get the okay, then go to what we're calling the what did somebody call it? It was wicked fun. They were calling it the speakeasy page. Go to the speakeasy page because you gotta know. If you know where it is, and that's where the schedule is. Okay, so the schedule for my YouTube lives, of which I have a number of them scheduled, I am scheduled literally out until the end of this month. So I say that because what I noticed was very random. When I was able to kind of sneak a peek onto YouTube, TikTok rather, I noticed that there were a number of people who were continuing to follow me on TikTok. And I just want to be really clear. I will not be on TikTok. Even though it's back, it's different. And frankly, I don't trust it. Not that I trust any of this, but I don't have a good feeling about the way things are being done over on TikTok. So that may be of detriment to me, in the fact that I have a substantially larger number of followers on TikTok. But in the meantime, I am having so much fun with the smaller, cooler group of which you can be a part of. TikTok people. So Destination Decluttered on YouTube, that's where I'm going to be hanging out most of it. Okay. So it's a lot easier to interface. We can use little hearts and things, and I can be in the chat. I love it. Heather and Robin and Becky and Therapy Gal Sue. Yes, I'm glad you got the notification of my bonus live. I did a live this morning. So I am just showing up to remind the people on TikTok that if you want to do a Destination Decluttered, if you want to participate or just have it running in the background, if you want to do that, then I'm really doing them all on YouTube now. Now, one of the fun things that I think the people over here on YouTube will concur wholeheartedly, as my husband and I like to say, is it is actually very convenient to have it on YouTube because you can watch YouTube on a variety of sources. A bunch of people have sent me pictures of them seeing me on their YouTube app on their big screen television. And then when they have it on their TV, they can turn the volume up and walk around the house and do some puttering and decluttering. Okay. So I just have the the TikTok, and this is me gonna I'm probably gonna get my wires crossed here at some point because I will be on for the next hour. Okay. I thought it might be fun. I thought if there are people out there who are, yeah, and exactly. I love it. Regina, thank you for leaving TikTok to pop over to Destination Decluttered on YouTube. We are talking about this as if I'm a mama duck, quack, quack. And over here is one pond was the TikTok pond. We found a better, bigger pond to hang out with. So feel free to hop over and we can help you get to the new pond, the YouTube pond. Okay. So I hope that helps. I love it. 80s girl forever. Yeah, feel free to pop over because I'm just going to be basically looking at this camera and interacting a lot more with those people. Barbara, I love it that you're one watching while you're cat sitting. Now, I wasn't sure what people's plans were going to be this evening for Valentine's Day. I personally have a pretty chilled evening myself. My husband is at a paying gig tonight, and when you get a paying gig, you want to get paid. So I was like, you know what I can do is it's not too late. I'm going to do a TikTok live, excuse me, a YouTube live, and maybe we get ourselves prepped for tomorrow. Yes, Barbara says, can't declutter yet since I'm not at home, but I can learn. Yes, and a lot of the decluttering is what's up here. Yay, Auntie Lisa Bopisa, you made it. You're the 80s girl. Nice to see you over there as well. Christine, I like to see you with your heart and your umbrella, so I know that's you. Yeah. So if you're on TikTok, consider popping over to Destination Decluttered on YouTube. That's where we are. Pinky Silver Chloe, I think you made the leap. I saw you hopping from place to place. Very fun. So I'm really here to just help you um, with your clutter, where you're stuck, where you don't know what to do. I have some ideas, some tips, some process to answer to help you with. Um, Also kind of for both groups, people on the mailing list, tomorrow we have a decluttering party scheduled. For those of you who have been to the decluttering parties, you know how much fun they are and also how much fun it is to get stuff done during them. So a decluttering party tomorrow, it is Saturday, February 15th, noontime Eastern time. So if I always speak in Eastern time, because once I start doing the math, I'm inevitably going to screw myself up. So if you are not East Coast, you know how to plus or minus the hours yourself. So tomorrow for an hour and a half, people with tickets to the party, of which you can still buy one tonight, tomorrow morning, up until you know what your schedule is. You get a link to a Zoom. We all sign up on Zoom at the same time, and we all decide something we're going to work on. Now, here's something fun. I'll just share this with you. I have, where is it? I have some paperwork I got to look over myself for my taxes. So if you're dreading getting your tax paperwork together, you're not alone, and I can help you with that. How good would it feel if you got started early on your gathering of your tax paperwork? 2 full months before they actually have to be kind of submitted and paid on, what is it, April 15th. How good would it feel to get started as opposed to, "Oh, I gotta do it. Oh, I gotta do it. Oh, I gotta do it." Okay? So I offer to you that if that's something you wanna work on or anything else really that you're maybe dragging your feet and you know that having some accountability and some friends to hang out with and somebody to be there while you're doing it that you're like, I'm stuck in the moment, you can reach out to me because I'm right there. Now here's something really fun is I'll share this with you. I was looking in my closet over there and I found this scrapbook and I'm just going to open it up. Let me see what I can find here. Oh, look who I got here. Who do I have here? I'm going the wrong direction. Can you see that? I've got Sting and I've got I've got sting both times. I was kind of a fan of the the police. You know, I got my police stuff, but a good half of this is empty. Oh no, there's still some more stuff. So I'm going to look through this tomorrow, and this is what I would call sentimental clutter. It's sentimental stuff. It's stuff that you've saved for a long time. Now, here's an interesting thing. I may have some things in this scrapbook that I want to keep, but does it need to take up as much room as this scrapbook? Now, according to the people who made the scrapbook, this is the little sliding thing it was on, and it says once in a lifetime memories should last a lifetime, right? Should they? Should they? Can I make them take up a smaller amount of room so I'm not lugging it around? You know? So I just want to offer to you. There you go. Yeah, okay. And here's the funny thing. Cat Mama, nice to see you. You missed this morning. Okay, good to see you. Maybe you hop over to YouTube. Gail is saying, I just finished organizing papers and found tax documents that I claimed not to have received. Yeah, we had to file an extension for my mother because there was one piece of paperwork that she got, but because she had so much cluttery paperwork and a lot of junk mail coming through her actual, mailbox attached to the house, that I had to jump through hoops to get this one document so we could have her taxes moving forward. I will tell you, we're not going to do that this year, right? So, yeah, so German Maid, you caught me in my new YouTube live this morning. I'm on YouTube right now. I'm showing up on TikTok to remind you that I'm on YouTube pretty much every day except for when I'm traveling. Okay? So those of you who know me on TikTok, and those of you who are new and following me, hop over to Destination Decluttered on YouTube. That's where all the good stuff is going to be happening. Okay? So I love it. Therapy Gal Sue says, yay, got us on my office TV, decluttering work for the weekend. Yeah. So the weekend tends to be a time where people who struggle with their time, of which I think all of us do to a certain extent, I'm no exception, that we say kind of, I can't do it now, Monday through Friday, because, insert reason here. However, I promise myself I will do even more on the weekend. Now, this is one of those funny things because I was thinking about it this morning. There are so many things we do in a human way that you can't really do that whole won't do a lot right now and then I'll do a bunch later. So for example, let's say I said I was going to drink 100 ounces of water per day, right? Um, a sip at a time is a lot easier, right? Can you imagine me getting to the end of the day and saying, "Oh my gosh, I haven't had anything all day, and now I'm going to have to drink 100 sips of water, 100 ounces of water." Doing something a little bit at a time is so much better. It is so much more organic and sustainable and doable. Do you ever get that when I ask my one-on-one clients, and nice to see you, the folks over here, but I'm really over on YouTube. Feel free to hop over and join us over there. Damn it, Donna, nice to see you. If you want to head over to YouTube. Um, what I just want to offer you is finding a sustainable way, an organic kind of way that feels doable for you to do your decluttering is going to be like you do a lot of things, is a little bit at a time, is a little bit at a time, maybe through the week, maybe only 10 or 15 minutes during the week, but that still adds up to like an hour and a quarter, right? So a little bit at a time will leave you in better shape for, yes, and doing it on the weekend when there's maybe a project that requires more energy and more time. So the here's the funny thing for me, frankly, is I like to have fun on my weekends. I like to have fun pretty much all the time. And so I just encourage you to look at decluttering from a different perspective, to notice what you're doing now. And is it giving you the life you want? Or are you going to be stuck in the spring and summer cleaning out the garage, in the basement, and doing all the decluttering and not going out and playing on your precious weekend? Okay. Yes, exactly. Pinky Silver Chloe. I think I saw that. I actually quoted that this morning when I did my scheduled YouTube live. Was inch by like what is it? Yard by yard, life is hard. Inch by inch, life's a cinch. And I swear I saw that on one of those like trivets at like um a Pennsylvania Dutch gift shop, where they always have the little sayings on them, but it's too true. Lisa, I'm over on YouTube. Okay, so Lisa, I can see you there. I'm showing up on TikTok to remind you that I will not be on TikTok um, often, if at all. So if you're following me here, you're going to be sorely disappointed. Where I'm going to be nowadays is over on Destination Decluttered on YouTube. Okay, so that's where I am from. Now I love it. Farm girls, you've got me. You're like me. You're in two screens. So I ask you, people on the YouTube. Now the neat thing is we have the chat right there, and I can chat right back. What do you want to get done declutter wise this weekend, if anything? Do you have some decluttering kind of planned for this weekend? If you don't, I'm not going to force you. I don't force you to do anything. But what I want to offer to you is if you've got something that you want to do, throw it in the chat. I can help you with it, with the scheduling of it, the chunking it down, the calming down, the surface stored sentimental. If you're struggling with clutter, even if you don't think you're going to be struggling with it, tell me what it is, and we might be able to make it even easier for you. Who doesn't want things that are even easier? Okay. Now, there we go. Lisa, I love it. I thought I was following you on YouTube, and I see you right over there. You made the leap from one duck pond to the other duck pond, And T Prada, good evening to you too. I am doing well. I am. And I am choosing to spend my time this evening on a little bit of TikTok just to remind people to jump over here because YouTube is really where it's going to be at for me. And I really enjoy it. So many good things about it. If anything, one of the neat things is that we typically will get a smaller crew of people so I can get more in depth, not just bopping around on the surface and trying to be everything to everybody, but I'm here for you. So it's funny, we have 44 people watching me, now 41, a nice little decrease on TikTok. We've got 26 people on YouTube, and I'm here for those 26. Now, I love it. Anna just said, or Anna, I have friends who pronounce it both ways. I jumped over and set my notifications. Yeah. So, a couple of things. You can set it to be notified when I go live on YouTube. And I can also recommend that you hop on the mailing list and check the speakeasy page, as we like to call it, the page that has the schedule of my TikTok lives. Okay. Now I love this. So T Prada is saying, I have some things in my laundry room to go through. Okay, cool. And a lamp to rewire. All right. So some things in your laundry room to go through. So one of the processes, one of the things that is pretty much the same steps that you will take when you're decluttering anywhere in your house is going to be the following. Okay? Let me give a live example. Okay. You're going to pick up an item, okay? And you're going to look at it and you're going to ask yourself this question. What is this item? And then you're going to wait for your own answer. And then you're going to ask yourself, could I live without this? Do I need this? Do I want this? Some variation on that. What do I want? Do I want to keep this? Maybe. Do I want to not keep this? Maybe. Okay. When you decide to keep it, you may say, and here, I'll turn it to this camera over here. When you decide to keep the item, you say, okay, if I'm going to keep this, where is a home for this that makes sense to me? Now, sometimes you don't know the home immediately, so maybe it's just a good start to say, yes, I want to keep it. And be mindful of where it would make sense for you to put it. Now, a lot of times, and I'm peeling off some tape here with this, a lot of times I will recommend to you making things look good, but also not just looking good, but functioning well. I'm all about a well-functioning home. Okay. And what do I mean by function? I mean by putting things in a place that makes sense to your brain that makes sense to your way of doing things, so that when you go to locate that item, you can easily find it. To me, functionality should equal easy. Easy to find something, easy to use it, easy to put it back where it belongs. Okay. So, okay, Barbara is saying same thing. Boxes lining the hallway. Need it all picked up. It's getting to be a safety hazard. The other fun thing you'll notice when you declutter is you will chunk it down. In order to get through boxes, you need to start with box. You need to start with one box. Now, let me ask you this. Chunking it down, picking up, it's going through one box at a time. So think about that. Farm Girl, I see you said you're subscribed on YouTube, but I cannot comment. Do you know what I need to do? Not sure, but what I want to recommend is make sure that you're logged in to your YouTube account, and maybe you have to tap the live to get to the chat. Okay. Now, okay, Lisa has some things that she's going through. Robin is slowly changing a spare bedroom into a cozy, peaceful space with maybe a small spot for a desk to coordinate by paperwork. It's a big job, but it's maybe worth it to you. Okay, so here's a funny thing. Okay, so Lisa, if you decide, yes, I want to keep it, but I don't have a place for it, that is because the places you have are already being rented by somebody else. You say, I want it, but you have no home to put it in. So I would then get curious. I would get curious about what is currently in your spaces. Now, this is where we go from kind of surface clutter to sentimental clutter. Okay. Or excuse me, surface clutter to stored clutter. Because sometimes you can't store an item somewhere because something else is already taking its place. Now, Lori, I just saw you jumping on group. Yes, we have the final Destination Decluttering Party of February tomorrow. There will be more of them in March, and the people who show up tomorrow, I always say the people who show up, notice this about me and notice this about the universe. When you show up, you get first dibs on a lot of good stuff. Okay. Because the people that show up to tomorrow's decluttering party are going to be the first ones to know the dates of the ones in March. They're not on consistent days. They are flexible around my existing rock and roll schedule. Okay, but we do have one tomorrow at noontime. So if you're interested in that, if you're on the mailing list, you have access to the invite and you can buy your ticket and you'll be all set. I should probably check to see. Okay, now live. Okay, there we go. And if you're not on the mailing list, wicked easy. DestinationDecluttered.com. Sign up. Okay. Cheryl, nice to see you. I love this. We're balancing out. We get 30 people over on YouTube, which is where I'm doing most of my interacting, just so you know. Pretty Patty, you might want to practice getting on YouTube because that's where I spend most of my time now. Okay. Excuse me. Okay. So when you don't have a place to put the items you've decided to keep, this is when you need to make decisions. Now, what you keep is totally up to you, but having a place to store it is an important part of keeping your home decluttered. So get curious about what you currently have there and ask yourself again, do I need this? If I want it, does it really need to be there or could it be somewhere else? You may need to play kind of, I don't know, prisoner swap. That's a bad example about that, you know? So, but I will offer that it's like you will make decisions about what you keep and what you let go of. And the more you let go of, the more things you decide you no longer need to hold on to, the easier it will be to find a home for the things you do need, you do want, you have decided today in 2025 to keep. Things you decided to keep years ago, you might want to revisit that and say, is that still the same thing? I just showed you my scrapbook from probably 1981, 82, 83. I have been lugging it around with me for 40 plus years. Do I want to continue lugging around? Now, am I moving anywhere anytime soon? No. But do I need it taking up that much space? Probably not. So I'm going to go through it and I will maybe do something different with the contents of it and happily do something and get rid of that scrapbook in a good way. Okay. So, Pretty Patty, YouTube, sign up. Flower Power saying, what do you think about DVDs with family memories? Watch them. Watch them. Do not just put things in a box and set it and forget it. Watch them. Share them. Make sure you have a player of whatever the what do I want to call it? Like the stuff that you're going to watch. Like we had over Christmas, we invited my husband's brother and his wife up to our house for the weekend. And one of the things we did, because we still had an old timey slide projector in the basement and a screen, we did a family slideshow. But when we did that, we also all took pictures of the slides when they were up on the big screen. So we also have a quasi digital copy of some of these things that were pretty much on the slide. So please go through your family photos, your sentimental items. Don't just have them sitting there in a box. Okay. Downtown Uptown Style is saying, I have things being sold on eBay and don't have a permanent place. Do not know what to do with them. Well, I used to sell things on eBay myself. I would offer making yourself a workstation, putting the things that you're selling in a certain place so you can easily find it when somebody buys it, you know? So notice that. Okay. Yay, good, more stuff. Hey, that one persona, nice to see you. Yeah. Now this is fun. You know, that one persona, this is what I was joking about earlier, but it's true. Every day is Valentine's Day with my husband. No, it's we are good to each other all the time. So we don't need to be like those people I saw at the grocery store today. Every person I saw going out of the grocery store today, pretty much so many of them had a bouquet of flowers. The card section was all over the place. We're good. My husband, as many of you know, my husband's a musician, and he was invited to play a house concert tonight. So I said okay because I don't really worry about Valentine's Day. And I actually want some time home. We've done so much traveling in the past 3 weeks, as many of you know, because of my lack of availability on the coaching calendar as well as social media, that I am delighting in not being out for Valentine's Day. We have plans for tomorrow night and on Sunday too. So, and last night we had plans and we got home on Wednesday. God, was it Wednesday that we got home from our vacation? I can't even remember. Okay. So, yeah. So I'm glad grandmas show you like YouTube better. I'm telling you, people on TikTok, I'm only showing up on TikTok right now to remind you that I'm not going to be on TikTok because I'm on YouTube. Okay. See, look, can you see me? Look, it's a little meta right there. Oh, look. Woo. Okay. I probably got myself nauseous doing that. So, oh yeah, there we go. Let me try to minimize the look of my phone right there. I don't want it to fall over. Okay. Grandma loves to watch the recordings while I work. Yes, it is so much. Oh yeah. Now people are seeing, it's all good. You're seeing my stuff hung up as opposed to being on the floor. There we go. Farm girl. You've got me in like surround sound. So I realize that I am privileged and lucky and blessed to be able to truly say how much I love my life. I don't do that to show off, but I say it to you as encouragement because I haven't always been able to say that. In decades past, in years past, my house has been cluttered. I haven't known what I want to do with my life. My relationships weren't good. But I have been doing things to change that. And incrementally, slowly but surely, things have changed. So I say this to you as encouragement. Okay, LO is bringing up a really good point. Sometimes I think I have clutter blindness. You do. Many of us do, and I will explain to you why. Think about this. When you have clutter, clutter is typically, let's even use this definition of clutter as stuff in your home where it doesn't belong. Okay? The clutter in your house is the stuff that isn't where it's supposed to be. When you see it initially, your eyes send a picture of it to your brain, and your brain says, oh, that's not where it's supposed to be. I should do something about that. But then another part of your brain will say, no, don't. I call it your backseat driver. Kind of like, I don't have time to do that. I don't know what to do. Like, it will give you an unhelpful answer. And so you tend to have it stay there because either you don't have time, or I don't know what to do, or I'm dreading it, or whatever. You leave your clutter where it is. So the next time you see it, your eyes take a picture of it, it sends it to your brain, and your brain says, hey, there's that thing. And your brain's like, yeah, I'm not going to deal with it now. So as an act of self-preservation, your brain will put clutter blinders on. They will. You don't notice the things that are sometimes right in front of you because your brain is asking you to do something about it, and you're saying no. So it's like, fine, I'm going to stop sending that signal, and I'm just going to fade that stuff into the background, and I'm going to get you used to it. This is why, has this ever happened to everybody? And Terry is saying I should stay on TikTok as well. I'm not going to, but thank you for the idea. I am on YouTube, and I'm planning on staying there. Have you ever been around your house and you get a call from a friend who says, hey, I'm in the neighborhood, I'm going to stop by because I have something to drop off, and they just text you and you don't have an opportunity to say no? Suddenly, it's like, you're rubbing your eyes, or you're cleaning your glasses, or you're taking off the clutter blinders, and you're seeing your home and its contents through somebody else's perspective. It's no longer hidden from you. It's like, oh my gosh, but there's crap everywhere. So yes. And that one persona says the moment the clutter blinders come off, whoa, right. So what I highly recommend is to take the clutter blinders off. Do not have it be one of those reactions to somebody else coming, because that can get you in kind of a freak out mode because somebody's coming over. If you practice looking at your stuff, here's something that works. Yeah, the oh shit moment. Like, shit, somebody's coming over. Here's something that's really fascinating that shares me. Yes, you never clean faster, but you clean, but you don't really clean. You probably, what I used to call, pitch and ditch. Yes. So I am live, and I am on YouTube right now. So if you're on TikTok and you want to see my face and see what I'm talking about, hop over to Destination Decluttered on YouTube. What I offer to you is this. When you get into that reactionary, oh my God, somebody's coming over thing, you're not decluttering. I don't want to say properly. You're not decluttering in the best way for you. You're probably shoving things in bags and boxes and closets and rooms and shutting the door just to make the surface look decent for somebody else. What I suggest you do is start to notice the clutter when you have time, when you can do something about it. Okay? And I love this. Laura Voorhees, hello, Laura, says famous music educator Shinichi Suzuki, oh yeah, the Suzuki method, suggested that when you see something that needs doing, try to get it done as quickly as possible. It saves you the procrastination tax. Yes, the tax of procrastination. That feeling of, oh, that's right, I got to do it, I got to do it, I got to do it. It is not lost on me that you used the word tax. Because taxes are something, and I'm sure we're all like, oh, that's right, I got to do it, I got to do it, I got to do it. When you do it, that voice just is quiet because you've done it. Okay. So here is a tip that I got from a friend of mine who became a client early on. And she was one of the first people that made me realize how much clutter affects people with ADHD. Now, I grew up with people with ADHD, even though we didn't know it at the time. So a lot of it was like, oh, of course, this is just how people are. But what I want to offer to you is this. You can get that different perspective on your clutter by taking pictures, by even just putting your phone up. If you use your phone as your camera and looking at your clutter through the lens of your phone, you will see things you haven't seen before. You will see things, that have been right there, but your brain has kind of made you blind to them. Now, this isn't to overwhelm you, but this is to see what you have so you can do something about it, because you can't do anything about something you don't notice. So experiment with that. Experiment with taking a still picture. Experiment with noticing the stuff that when it's there, it's kind of all around you. And especially think about it. when you are using, and me not so much with my glasses, but we have peripheral vision. So right now I can be looking at my camera over on my YouTube channel, and yet I'm also seeing stuff all around. When I have my camera, I'm focusing on one area, and I can chunk down and I can look down at seeing that, you know? And I want to offer to you, yeah, taking a photo of the space is a great idea, because there was somebody else earlier on this evening on the YouTube live who said, "I'm at somebody else's house, but um, I can't declare." I think it was Barb. She's cat sitting, right? So think about this. If you had some photos of your rooms, you could bring them with you, and you could not even be in that room. You could actually, and it can be helpful to get some distance from what you are working on. To get distance is a different perspective, literally and metaphorically. You could say, "Oh, okay, now I see what's in the way. Now I can just look at that picture of my countertops. And without being overwhelmed with everything else in the kitchen, I can zoom in on just that counter, and I could decide, even by looking at a photograph, of what stays and what goes, of noticing how much stuff has piled up." A lot of photographers will do this. They will take those quick pictures beforehand, before, using the really good film. And I'm talking in old school language. Okay. But just notice this. Yeah. Um, so Efren is saying, just from LA, yesterday decluttered and chores while holding on phone for Social Security office for an hour plus. Yeah, using the time wisely. Just because you're on hold doesn't mean you have to hold yourself in one place. You can putter and declutter. Yeah. And here's an interesting thing to know is Laura is saying, "I think I do have some traits of ADHD." What I offer to you is, um, labeling. What is that? I always think back to Wayne's World. Did anybody ever see that movie? I freaking loved it, and I still love it. And it's like he's like what Kierkegaard says, like, "When you label me, you negate me," or something. And I literally got that from Wayne's World. But thinking of it, but not as something that restricts you, but gives you an opportunity to just notice how your brain is wired. Maybe not the label, but just saying, "This is how my brain works." You're saying, "My clutter makes me anxious." So how about this? Let's even dissociate from it. It's not my clutter, it's just clutter. Maybe clutter makes me anxious. I know I have decluttered enough when I feel peace, and knowing that feeling of peace, that decluttering, you know? Yeah. Um so notice that decluttering can bring you peace. Now, user 4344 over on TikTok is saying, "I don't look at my email often." Is Do you email when you're on YouTube Live? I do not. If you are signed up for my YouTube and you are signed up to get notifications, YouTube may do that. You know, you may need to create an account. You may just be able to watch it by clicking on, what is it? YouTube .com at destination decluttered, but you may not be able to comment. Okay. Um, Notice we're all learning new things. And what I want to just offer to you is, one of the reasons that I show up helping you with clutter is because when you learn how to create peace in your life by doing something different with your clutter, you can also do that in other areas of your life, not just clutter. You may have a cluttered brain, you may have a cluttered schedule. We can use the same techniques, the same processes to help you feel better in other areas of your life. This is why, as I like to say, my name is Beth. I'm a decluttering life coach, because decluttering your life is really just removing the stuff that just doesn't matter to you anymore, and making space for what does matter to you. And sometimes the thing that matters to you is not filling up the space, but it's emptying out and just feeling cool with that right amount of items. Now, the right amount of items in your life is going to change from, chapter to chapter of your life. I am in the late 50s chapter of my life, and I am so much more easily able to recognize that I have held on to things for 20 years, for 40 years, even longer. Do I still need to do that? Do they achieve the same effect that they did back in the past? I recently got rid of a few framed signed posters from musicians that nobody else really cares about, that I used to hang up 25 to 30 years ago because I thought it made me feel cool. And it did make me feel cool. Now I feel cool without those, and so they had been stacked up in the basement for easily 10 plus years, and I didn't anticipate ever putting them back up. And so it wasn't the most comfortable thing, but I lovingly said goodbye to them. And now I don't have to worry about them anymore. And neither does anybody who may be responsible for cleaning up my stuff when I die. Now, I plan on being around for at least another 45 to 50 years. It's just the way I'm wired, and I have a lot of longevity in my family. So I could ostensibly postpone a lot of this, but I don't want to. I want to get it done and not have to worry about it. I want to feel that piece of decluttering right now and use my years ahead of me to do whatever the hell I want. To read, to flop down on the couch, to scroll on social media, to watch a movie, to go traveling. I don't want to be stuck in the basement, in the attic, sitting there in front of my Foot Locker, going through my sentimental items, and all the other stuff in my house. Yeah. Now here's an interesting thing. LO says chapters of life decluttering is hard. Let me ask you this. Why do you think it's hard? You can answer the question to yourself. You can just keep it in your head. You can write it down. You can put it in the chat. It's up to you, whatever you feel comfortable with. What I want to offer to you is, if you think something is going to be difficult, if you think it's going to be hard, if you tell yourself it's going to be hard, you may not even try. And then things will build up and it will become more difficult because you have a bigger quantity of items to deal with. So I just offer to you, get specific. What is specific? What specifically is something that makes decluttering hard? Because when you get specific, we can solve for the specificity. Okay. Now, Farm Girl, still trying to figure out how to comment on YouTube. I'll let you know what I figured out. Good on you. What I would recommend, seriously, this is how I learned how to use YouTube Studio when I just started doing this a few weeks ago. Seriously, go to Google and say, how do I comment on a YouTube live? Okay. Yeah. So if you think it's going to be hard, you're going to be like, I don't know. I won't make the leap from TikTok to YouTube. I can't do it. I'm too old to learn things. No, you are never too old to learn something new and something new that will improve your life. I love it. Farm Girl. See, you're not giving up. That's great stuff. Okay, now Beth 1598. I'm a Beth too. Decision makes it hard for me to declutter. Well, friend, friend, remember that cute little girl? Friend. And she was the one with the freaking bats. So adorable. But I digress, or I digreg. Decluttering is decision making, Beth 1598. Practice getting better at making decisions. And you know what's really cool about a decision? I love this. And I have it written up here, and I've had it written up here since literally for the past 2 years. The phrase, what do I want? What do I want? Deciding what you want. Do you want to keep the thing? Do you want to not have the thing anymore? That is a decision. Some decluttering decisions are easier than others. That's why I chunk it down into surface clutter, stored clutter, sentimental clutter. Sentimental is often the most challenging, the not as easy, but you can practice building your decision-making muscle on the easier things, and you can get better at it. And the more you answer the question, what do I want? Which sometimes is also, what do I not want? You learn more about yourself. And then that question becomes easier and almost automatic. Like, right away, I do not want that. Sam, I am. Right? Yeah. Yeah. And okay, so I love this. And you're right. The mindset is everything. Put things behind to make room for the future. And in the future, I don't want to be stuck in the attic every year. No, I don't even want you stuck in the attic in the spring and summer. That's why I'm showing up and I'm on the East Coast and the weather is crappy and cold and dark. That's why I wanted to get us started now so that when the weather is good, you're with me and you're hanging out on your patio drinking a tiki drink and reading a book instead of up in the sweaty eaves of the attic trying to go through decades worth of stuff, you know? Okay. Mary Lou Rizzo is bringing up a really good point. So Mary Lou is saying, excuse me, even when I decide to get rid of something, sometimes I can't, just because I don't want it to end up in a landfill. It's a silly reason to keep something, but it's not silly if it's stopping you from doing that. Okay? This is going to be one of those hard truths. I don't like to be mean about stuff unless I can, but here is a cold hard fact. That item you are keeping in your house now will at some point end up in a landfill. Mic drop moment. It is just a matter of time until everything we own ourselves ends up somewhere else. Now, here's an interesting thing, Mary Lou. Notice how your brain is saying, I either own it or it goes into a landfill. There is a whole range of other things that can happen with that item instead of landfill. There's recycling, there's reusing, there's selling, there's sharing, there's gifting. Somebody else may want what you have. So just notice, you are jamming up your life. You are surrounding yourself with landfill like things. And the one precious life you have is being encumbered by it. As soon as you die, somebody could literally back a dumpster up to your house and empty it out. Okay? So just notice that stuff could end up in a landfill, or right now you could decide to do something else about it, or be cool with the fact that yes, we as humans create waste, and not just the poopy kind. We have things that we do throw in the trash every week. We try to minimize it, but we are not, green zero. Okay? Yeah. And German Maid is bringing up a good point too. Sometimes we have to realize our house turns into a landfill if we don't let the stuff go. Okay? Yeah, everything, our human bodies, we will go back to the earth. So what I say is, before our bodies get decomposing and back into the earth, let's have a good time while we're here. Now, does that mean we go and pitch everything in the trash? No, but we're being mindful and careful and feeling okay with the decisions we're making. Yeah. Okay. It's funny. Yeah. There was something actually here. User 5218 on YouTube. I will highly recommend, and everybody on TikTok, please know this is the one time this entire week you will even see me on TikTok. Other than that, there will be no added content to TikTok. Where all the good stuff is right over here. Right over here. I'm pointing at my new thing, YouTube. Destination Decluttered on YouTube. Okay? So those are the questions I'm answering. Yeah. Gina's saying, my son started a Hot Wheels collection. I told him don't do it. Yeah, because we've been there. Now, collecting can be fun. The act of hunting and gathering and collecting can be fun. But yes, once you have a collection, I mean, look at me. Look behind me right here. I have collected things. But I will be honest with you, I would have far fewer vintage train cases and little sewing kits if I did not have 25 little cubbies that I didn't want empty. If I didn't have that much storage. So sometimes we think, oh, all I need is more storage to help me with my my clutter. No. Sometimes storage makes the clutter worse because it allows you to store more things. Now, here's an interesting thing. Beth 1598 says, I have a hard time trying to sell or give to Goodwill. I would rather give to someone who needs it. Well, to me anyway, we have a Goodwill in my town. The Goodwill does connect up items with people who need them. You may not know the person who needs the stuff you have. You may offer it to your friends, but they don't need it. So there may be somebody you will never meet face to face that could benefit, as I like to say, from your abundance, because clutter is abundance. Abundance, too much. I bet I could look at declutter or the definition of abundance. Yes, but you, by giving an item to a thrift store, you are allowing people, for the most part, I mean, I'm being very general here, but it tracks 90% of the time. You are allowing people who don't have the money to buy things full price to buy something that they need at a discounted price. That's why thrift shops exist. And I know this for a stone cold fact because I have shopped in them for decades. Now, this is an interesting thing with me. I no longer care to shop at all. I don't go into thrift stores anymore. I did that for decades. I did. And what I want to offer is I am good with the quantity and quality of stuff I have. And that's such a nice feeling. I feel like I've healed a hole in my soul that I was trying to fill up by buying things. Okay. So just notice how the right amount of stuff in your house can feel good. And it can feel good to you. And that's good because you're the one who lives in it. Now, Grandma's show over on YouTube is saying my son gets anxiety when he comes over. So everybody is wired differently. Everybody is wired differently. So what I offer to you is if you're living in your house, check, and if you legitimately and honestly feel good with the amount of stuff that you see in your home, if it functions well, if you can easily find things and you feel good, it's your house. You get to do what you want. You shouldn't necessarily change your home for other people. But if you can't honestly say and feel good about what's going on, if you say, do I feel good about this? And there's some stuff that's bugging you, change it for you. And it might help somebody else who's coming to visit. Okay. Yeah. Now, here's a fun thing. Cat Mama's saying, I want to give family younger ones, but they don't want our stuff. Yeah. Other generations do, other people probably don't want your stuff. Your stuff means something to you. As soon as you are no longer there, boom, the magic goes out. It means very little to other people. Like it's a steep decline. The stuff that matters most to you means very little to everybody else. And I say this as a collector. I say this as a daughter. I say this as an auntie. I say this as a friend. You know, our things mean a lot to us, but once we're gone, it's just stuff, you know? Yeah. Now, this is interesting. Um, Beth is saying, and notice this thought, I always think the other person will resell the item that I donate. I do know I shouldn't think that. Well, you shouldn't, though. But what is so wrong with that? I have made money. And when my times were tough, I was able to pay my rent because I bought stuff at the Goodwill that I knew other people wanted, and I turned a profit to it. What is wrong with that? What is wrong with that? But notice, we all have thoughts about clutter, feelings about clutter, and actions that we take about clutter. One of the things that's intertwined with clutter, one of the big things in our lives that's intertwined with clutter is money. Well, if somebody's going to make money off of that stuff, it might as well be me. Well, sell the stuff yourself. Yeah, but I'm not selling it. I used to sell stuff, and then for a great long time, I wasn't selling stuff, and it just sat there. So if you're not going to sell it and make the money, own that. Own that. It is okay for somebody else to make money off of what you've donated because they are putting the effort into selling it. If you choose not to sell it, that's okay. I don't want that we are choosing again, what do I want and what do I not want? I don't want to spend my precious time doing all those steps to sell things and making a couple of nickels. Farm girl. Yes, go you. I am so proud of you for figuring out how to comment. Everybody on YouTube, give some clappy emojis or something to Farm Girl because she was struggling over here on TikTok, and she's like, I'm gonna figure this out, and she did, and now she knows how to comment over here on YouTube. You know, so yeah. Grandma's show says when I was unemployed once for a little while, I sold stuff. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. There isn't, but you know what? Man, do we have thoughts and feelings tied up with money? It's fascinating. It is fascinating to me because I do too, right? You know? Like to me, it's like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to make as much money this year because TikTok is going away. And just because TikTok showed up again in the App Store does not mean that it's going to be around for a long term, you know? So it's just I just love thinking about this stuff. And that's why I show up and I share this with you because I'm a person on the planet who's figuring this stuff up out just as much as you guys. I may be on the road to decluttering. I am probably further closer to the destination. I'm pretty much there with very few exceptions, but I have a manageable amount of clutter. I'm no longer overwhelmed by it. I am no longer fearful of people stopping by my house. I am no longer ashamed of not being able to figure out what to do with my stuff, you know? So it feels so good to have figured this stuff out. And I just show up to share my abundance of knowledge with you because I want to help you with that, you know? Um, no, Gina says just join a buy nothing group or donate it. Yeah. And what they do with it afterwards is out of your hands. Yeah. It's liberating. Yep. So we got like 4 minutes. And then I'll probably end up, I don't know, brushing my teeth, getting in my pajamas, scrolling, maybe watching a movie. Um, Notice that decluttering is decision making. Notice we make decisions all the time. Are the decisions you're making giving you the life you want? Ellen, nice to see you. Yeah, no decluttering for me today, just enjoying Eagles Day. Yes, go birds. Go birds! Friends of ours were at the parade today. I'm so glad we did not go. Um, I'm not a big sports fan in any sports, but I love it when the home teams win. But I'm so glad people had a good time. I love it, you know. So I love it. There we go. Flower Parrot just created a space for memories on a cabinet, pictures and a VHS. Awesome. Michelle is asking where I got my robe. I got this like 10 years ago, maybe at Target. Yeah, yeah, but thank you. I like it too. You see me wearing it a lot when I'm just getting cozy. Okay. Now here's an interesting thing. TikTok, I'm going to shut you off because TikTok is saying I have to go. Judy, yes, I just saw you hop on you TikTok. I will see you tomorrow too. People on TikTok and but I'll stay a few more minutes with people on YouTube. Okay. So I'll see you folks tomorrow. I'm going to do this and TikTok. I'm probably not going to show up for weeks, if any. So if you want a daily TikTok live type experience, it's called a YouTube live. And I've have them scheduled from now until the end of the month and then some. Okay, so please, Destination Decluttered over here on YouTube. That's where I'm going now. Okay, bye. All right, so you guys, anyhow, yes, millions of your closest friends. Yes, millions of your closest friends. Yeah, we have some friends who went and they sent some pictures. It looked like the Mummers Parade must have looked like something out of a nunnery. But good stuff. Good stuff. So notice we choose what we spend our money on. We choose what we spend our time on. And I just offer to you is kind of like they say, like, who's the guy at the pearly gates? St. Peter, St. Paul, St. Mary, St. Peter, Paul, and Mary. I don't know. But feeling good about the decisions you've made, that the decisions you have made were made with love in your heart for yourself and for other people. You want to live in a home that feels good. Love feels good, you know? Um, so just think about that. Decluttering is practicing decision making by creating an environment that looks, functions, and feels like you want it to, you know? So when you want When you know what you want, it's easier to get it. It's really that simple. It is, but if you don't know what you want, that's okay. You start small and you practice. And you learn what you like and you do more of it, and you learn what you don't like and you do less of it. And you, as Depeche Mode would say, is you get the balance right. Now, Farm Girl says, I like you even better on YouTube. Yeah, I like it better on YouTube too. I have it where you can see more of the screen. I made it. It's kind of, I'm getting better at my hand gestures and stuff, but I'm getting it so you can actually read the things, like port of call, where I'm drinking my water. Yeah. So, oh, okay. Doctora de las Plantas is flower power from TikTok. Yay. Yes, start small and practice. Now, if you're a plant doctor, it's the same thing. Decide what seed, decide what flower you want to bloom. Get the seed, plant it, water it, take care of it, be patient, and trust that even when you don't see anything going on the surface, that it's growing underneath. Okay? Mabel, I love it. So this was great. I think this is the most people that have ever showed up to one of my YouTube lives. I love this. But you guys, I'll be honest with you. It is 8:01 p.m. and Eastern time. And I'm getting a little bit tired. I was up early this morning. I did a TikTok live I did a YouTube live. And I literally just decided, kind of spur of the moment, to show up tonight because I had some time free. And I thought maybe might be fun to hang out. So night night, everybody. Seriously, if you want to join in, we're doing the decluttering party tomorrow at noon. You can buy your ticket now. You can wait until tomorrow morning. It's fine. Do whatever. More YouTube lives are scheduled. More decluttering parties will be scheduled in March. I will be putting some uh, consultations back on the calendar, but I've been busy. But wasn't this fun? I had a good time. Thank you for showing up. And I'm especially proud of everybody who made the leap over here from YouTube, to YouTube from TikTok. Okay. And everybody who's practicing showing up and getting used to YouTube. Okay. So nighty night. I will see you guys tomorrow, some of you tomorrow. And I'll also see you the next time I do a YouTube live. And I swear I'm going to get better at saying YouTube and not TikTok. How's that? Okay. Good night, sleep tight, and pleasant dreams to you.